Our next semifinal brings two Titans and former teammates to compete against each other. The stats turtle lean in one direction here. Statistics say that NRG is going to win this. What's it going to take for Envy to buck the trend?
I don't know, man. That's the weird thing about this series. I'm so nervous right now for both these teams because every time one of them wins, it's in a sweeping fashion. We're bringing out the broomsticks in this series, I think, and Jorby had a great point. Usually when NRG beat them, if not every time, they get a sweep, especially in those best of sevens. But if you remember recently, it was Envy who came out on top in the quarterfinals of regional event number 3. So who knows who's going to take this one? It's been back and forth. The rivalry and the storyline between these two teams is so strong.
If there's anything we know, chat, it's pay attention in game number 1 because that seems to be the one that matters ultimately.
Yeah.
Here comes Turbo dropping it down for Envy. We've got NRG in the blue, Envy in the orange. Best of 7. Best of 7. 4 games you got to win here. It's a little bit of breathing room for these teams from the matches they normally play, but Turbo with the small touch. Oh my goodness, Justin saved it. I don't understand how that doesn't go in some way. Everybody had a shot there, and NRG keep their net clean.
Just off the post. This is already going to be such a fast-paced game. You can tell both these teams. It's not going to be a defensive one at all. And there's midfield passing already from NRG. And Justin, I want to highlight him. He is an important factor. In that previous matchup against the Peeps, he was scoring 2.25 goals per game, 5.25 shots per game. Numbers like that is incredible. Normally, stats don't always tell the story, but that is something you have to pay attention to.
3:38 on the clock. Neither team on the board just yet. Here's Justin, intercepted by Mist. Works as a back pass to Atomic, and Turbo will try to chase this down. Back to Atomic. Both players on the dual threat. Justin now to GARRETTG. Onto the backboard looking for a double tap. He finds it, but it's too high. Justin's follow-up, though, is under the crossbar. NRG draw first blood.
Oh, we've got the mechanics. And look at the give and go from GARRETTG and Justin. Justin hitting it up. The nice little redirect from GARRETTG, getting another touch to throw off the defense just that little bit more, and Justin the easy follow-up. NRG still looking strong from that previous series.
NRG on the board first here in game number 1. And they're going to look to try and extend this one here. Mist getting bumped off it, and Garrett just bulldozes it through. Squishy helps pave the way. 2-0 now, NRG.
Yeah, and this was a more awkward goal. You can see GARRETTG taking his time a bit more. Squishy was looking for a demo. He got a bit of contact on Mist, which probably threw him off just a little bit on the rotation. It was enough to give GARRETTG's time and space to get that little goal. Solid 50s all around. And NRG, they can do it all. They can get the backboard reads, and they can also take the ball down, go for a slower paced dribble.
Well, Envy now down by 2. They're going to have to find a way to block all of that. Everything, you know all 3 of these players, Squishy, Justin, and Garrett, the mechanical gods of North America. There's nothing they can't do. It's just a matter of can you stop them from doing it all at the same time. And Envy's going to have to look for offense now. As they're trailing by 2, the defense has been okay. We're at halftime here, but they've not been able to get anything going on the offense.
Yeah, we talk about highlight players like Justin and players you need to pay attention to. There's also Atomic on the other side. When Envy swept NRG in the previous regional event, Atomic scored all of the goals. He is a player that is similar to Justin. He can create opportunities and finish almost every shot that comes his way. So he's going to need to pop off if we want to see Envy have a chance.
Here's Atomic onto the backboard, and GARRETTG's got the read. Squishy Muffin underneath him on the edge. He's going to follow this touch himself and gets a nice challenge in the midfield. Gets another one off the backboard. Squishy airborne, looking for the shot. Oh, just a bit high, and Justin on the far side of the field will wait for the counterattack. There's 1 and 2 now up against Atomic. Atomic gets just enough of it, but the goal is wide open. GARRETTG will send the shot, and Atomic grounds himself, rockets back to net, and makes the save.
Yeah, that's a huge recovery. Oh my goodness. Normally we see a player like that go for a
Squishy, putting it high. There's Mist. Here's Atomic going to try and see if they can get this goal. 142 left though, Turtle. They're still have not found the back of the net.
Yeah. Oh, and it's difficult. Look at the backboard read from Atomic there, trying to redirect it into the net. Things getting so close for both teams, and we can see Envy are starting to push up. The defense has picked up a little bit, finally finding that position where they can rotate back, get the save. Even after the demos come out, they're holding out.
Here's Squishy. Mist will win the challenge. Justin will have a lot of space with this ball. Send it to the sky. He's got about 2/3 boost left to work with, and puts it just nearly into the net. A bit wide on the side. Turbo We'll push it back to midfield. Here's Mist, sends it towards the goal. Squishy and Turbo run into each other. Atomic will try to get it back to the box for Mist. He can't quite get around the ball and get it into the net, but Envy putting the pressure on in the final minute here. Still trailing by 2. They need that first goal quickly. Turbo trying. Atomic now. Off of 1, Mist back into the box. Justin away. Atomic off the ceiling. Now dropping it into the box. Ooh, that one was close. Justin gets it away. Mist now up against GARRETTG. Neutral play over and over again. These challenges being just so even. The ball will go straight up and down. Now Turbo. Off to the side, just wide of the goal. Justin puts it high. Atomic's got an opportunity to tuck this one back around, but the ball stays in the corner. Turbo gonna try and connect with Mist. Mist looking for it in the midfield. Atomic's also up there, and now he's gonna have to fall back. Challenge from NRG good. 14 seconds left, down by 2. NRG looking good to take game number 1 as the clock expires and the ball's in enemy territory. Envy yet to get on the board. Just getting a goal here at the end would have maybe helped the morale situation. Looks like it's gonna end there. Turbo not gonna challenge that ball. NRG cleanly take game number 1.
And that's a painful game 1 for Turbo Pulse especially. You saw him get a couple of chances to take a shot on net, both times hitting the post, which is so frustrating because he was the player who needed to hit those shots. Previously, you know, in the Swiss stage, Turbo Pulse was a clutch striker. I complimented him, on that. But now he's coming out here a little bit shaky to start out. And I'm wondering, are we gonna get another sweep? This is an important game 1. Team Envy and also NRG. Usually in this series, for whatever reason, it's always a sweep. Now NRG come out strong. They look to be pretty much the same as they did against the Peeps, which is a great sign if you're a fan of them. With the double taps, mixing it up with the solo dribbles, and how grounded that ball was there. You know, they can do it all, and every aspect of the pitch needs to be covered up from the side of Envy.
I mean, we only saw 3 saves from NRG here. Definitely didn't have to play too much defense there. And on the 7 shots, Envy's had 7 shots. NRG had 3 saves. That means 4 unaccounted for there. Not the sort of accuracy you want to see if you're an Envy fan. And yeah, I'm worried. Stats do say, Turtle, the history has said that winning game 1 wins you the series at this point. We'll see if things are different.
Yeah, we're looking at the previous series as well with NRG versus the Peeps. I mean, the question is always, how do you stop this NRG offense and defense? How do you break through? A lot of times whenever the Peeps scored, it was off of a huge demo if it was timed correctly, and slower dribbles out of your defensive side to force better 50s worked wonders for the Peeps. Let's see if Envy take a little piece of that in their own style.
We'll see how things go here at the beginning of game 2. Envy will look to bounce back and tie things up. Squishy through 1. And Atomic now to follow this one. Tries to give it to Turbo Pulsa and connects on the pass. Defense has lots of space. Turbo Pulsa took the shot outright at midfield. Defender's getting bumped, but Squishy doesn't mind. Gets away from it. Justin threw another one as well. Now to follow this one to the corner. He's going to look for the shot himself. Faked it off it, and nothing comes of it. The ball just kind of bounces off the ground. The defenders get it away. Now here comes Envy on the counterattack. 20 boost left for Turbo Pulsa. Sends it on target, and a clear for Justin. We'll get it away. Follow from Atomic into the midfield. Mist is super far back. There won't be a follow-up. He tried to make a pass off to a teammate that wasn't there.
Again, we're getting opportunities only for Turbo Pulsa. He seems to be the forward man for Envy, which isn't the usual situation we'll see him get placed in. Now he has to hit some shots a little bit. Atomic ideally would be in that situation, but you know, you got to take your chances when they come. Unfortunately, Turbo Pulse hasn't been able to punish. There it is from Atomic, though, the pass out to Mist. This play looked beautiful, and if you can't find the back of the net, just have somebody there to get a better pass.
Yeah, Atomic, what a touch out of the corner, and Mist there to clean it up. This time, we've seen Atomic try to pass to Mist a few times, but this time, Mist gonna be up and in the face of NRG. Envy, they'll break the scoring drought. Get on the board here. Now NRG, let's see how they play from behind. Atomic to the edge. Mist trying to put pressure towards the net. Forces touches out of Justin, but Justin just bops it at midfield. Sends it high. GARRETTG's up for it. Ball is wide. Atomic back behind GARRETTG, and now the followed himself. Squishy gets it away from Atomic. Turbo gets it away from Squishy. Counter touches.
On the left.
There's Garrett through the air onto the backboard. Turbo Pulsa. What a read. 2 players up like that. 2 players of that skill up, and he knows, and the ball's going to be right here on the backboard. I got this. Now Squishy pass 2. GARRETTG up for it. Turbo gets it away again. Justin now onto the backboard again. 2 defenders cover it up. 3 minutes left to go as NRG pressuring, trying to tie up the game.
Oh, so much pressure as well from NRG that is suffocating Envy right now. They're doing a good job, at least, of controlling the boost and being efficient with it. And Envy, all they can do is get a massive clear out. They're not finding each other on the other side. They need to stall out a few seconds to let everybody get some boost, recover, and then push forward on that transition game.
Missed with control up against Squishy. Loses it on the wall. Turbo pulses up just to try and stall the play. Now GARRETTG airborne. He can make this shot. Sends it far post, and Atomic has the save. Now Squishy. He's got Justin in the midfield. And he's got a lot of boost to his name, but Turbo Pulsa will just absolutely tackle him on the wall. Get that ball away from him. Now Mist in the corner. GARRETTG with a miss, and the Turbo Pulsa will try to set up Mist. Atomic has to fall back because Justin already airborne for this. He's going to lose control, but GARRETTG now hounded him down. He'll get the demolition on an Atomic, but not before he put it all the way back to midfield. Turbo Pulsa, back to Atomic, back to Turbo. Lots of space given past Justin, up against the defender, onto the backboard. Atomic sets it up, missed. They can't get this one. Has to half flip out. Here's the counterattack. GARRETTG putting it high. Squishy's going to try and collapse on this one, but the ball glued itself to the back wall, eliminating a lot of shooting opportunities. And now Atomic back down the field to a player in the midfield. Missed up for it, blocked by Justin at the point of contact.
Oh, this is so much fun to watch. You can see this game is just developing into one of those where it's clear after clear. Huge momentum getting shifted. You see one team have all the pressure, and then all of a sudden, if you can just hold the defensive line, you get one booming clear, you've got a straight shot at the other side's net.
Justin versus Atomic is to the edge, and Atomic will have this one. No, he misses it, and the ball just bounces in the midfield.
Justin.
Now Squishy pushes it over to Justin, but it gets intercepted by Atomic. Now GARRETTG back to the midfield again, and Atomic will clear it to the edge. Squishy already on the challenge. Justin rotating back. It's going to be up to GARRETTG if he half rotates, and then it looks like Justin came back up from the corner. Now here's GARRETTG trying to challenge this. Turbo got it away from him, but the touch from Squishy's back down to Atomic. Here's Turbo towards the net, and Squishy's got it covered up. NRG, they're playing solid defense, but still have yet to find the back of the net in game number 2. It's been sweeps between these teams every time they've run into the finals. Can we finally have they go 1-1?
Oh, and that would have been such a good opportunity. GARRETTG had no boost in the midfield. Passes like that are beautiful, and pretty much once in a very few opportunities where you'll get one that's right in front of the net. GARRETTG just need a couple of more pads. And you're right, Wave. I mean, it seems like NRG have been mostly dominant here with the pressure, but Envy have just bundled up on defense.
Oh, 30 seconds left, and the Envy defense has been stalwart. Justin now to Squishy. He's got a bit of space, tries to trap it, but loses control, and GARRETTG also commits on it. Now it's all up to Justin in the backfield. An excellent touch over the top of Atomic, and he goes straight to GARRETTG. Goes over the fakes on Miss. Present it back to Justin. On target. No! Miss falls off the backboard. 9 seconds left. Squishy with control and lots of boost in the tank, but Turbo just builds a wall, stands in front of him. Now through 2. Miss puts it high. Clock gonna expire. Can they keep it in the air? Atomic gonna try and slam it down, and he does. Envy take the win in game 2, tying up the series at 1 apiece. No sweeps today.
Yeah, we're not getting a sweep, and I'm kind of happy about that. We just came off of a 7-game series from G2 and SSG. You can't ask for more, except for another Game 7, because this matchup, it's so close. The histories of these teams, it's been back and forth. Again, a rivalry between both of them, and Envy. That defense was outstanding. You could see them all running back, the timing on the rotations. There were several moments where NRG looked dominant, looked like they had a straight shot at net, and still somebody on Envy would come in clutch, get in front of that shot, and it's all thanks to Atomic as well at the beginning, setting up that play for Miss to come in and crash the net.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and the rivalry between these teams, fierce. It's good to see this rivalry show up like this too. I mean, for the people that don't know the story, Turbo Pulsa, the 4-time world champion, hops from Europe to North America to give NRG the championship they've tried to get so many times and fallen short so many times of, and then hits a slump after that season, seemingly, and gets cut from the roster off the start here, though. Miss gonna take it in game number 3. The rivalry continues.
You got to watch out if you're NRG for these early few seconds, because Envy always come to play right away. Missed off the crossbar. He follows it up. Team Envy, those kickoffs, deadly for them. You need to be more patient and a little bit more cautious if you're NRG, and you are right, Wave Punk. You talk about the rivalry. Squish even mentioned in his interview that we saw earlier. He's trying to fill those shoes that Turbo left for him. You know, the midfield presence, the clutch factor, and this is where it all comes down to.
I mean, imagine cutting the 4-time from your roster, right? And it doesn't matter who you're picking up. Squishy's one of the most legendary players in the game. You're trying to replace Turbo Pulsa, though. The god. This is the man, and he's now here to prove that he's not washed, that he is not and just sits on the back line, that he can score as well. And it is the value of Turbo, is the unsung things, the things the scoreboard don't reflect. Here's Turbo now to the edge. He would love to beat the team that sent him to the side. Justin dropping this down. NRG falling back, missed, and Turbo has already paved the way there. Atomical got the pass, Mist gets the shot. 2 goals now for Envy.
And this is just some panic play from Squishy. I think he was trying to dodge the demo. You can see somebody from Team Envy was in that position trying to force a panicked opportunity for Squishy, just an early jump at the ball. He bit into that trap and ended up just bouncing it off the sidewall, giving Envy a free shot. Now they go up 2 goals. The start to these games for Envy have been phenomenal, and they seem to carry that pace, then just settle back a little bit. You know, push the defensive line back, wait on defense, because they're reading everything that NRG have.
Justin out of the corner. NRG's been struggling to score now for 2 games straight. Squishy gonna miss this touch on the wall, but maybe on purpose as it bounces towards the goal. The defenders doing work. Envy keeping it solid there on the back line despite the pressure from the rest of NRG. Now Justin playing it off the wall over Mist. Squishy to challenge, gets it neutral. GARRETG up for it. Atomic grounded, gonna try and still challenge him in the air. Meets him as GARRETG ran out of boost, and Atomic's able to take over, but Justin picking up that midfield. Now into the back wall. Got to pass the defender. Squishy sets it up. GARRETG wants a challenge, but Mist already in the air, and now passing out to Atomic. Nice interception from GARRETG to keep that counterattack from coming through.
Yeah, we got some good patience from NRG, but not the best mechanics. I even saw Garrett go for a flip reset earlier, didn't get it, and now Justin off the post. I didn't think it was going in. Atomic, I'm not sure if he put this one in or if off the post it would have slotted in. Either way, Justin, thankfully he's in the position.
Dude, the Justin's read. If he goes in the air a split second later, he doesn't make the shot. What a read from Justin.
Yeah.
And gets NRG back on the board now, only down by 1, trailing by 3. Can they bring it back?
Kind of reminds me of that earlier series with G2 and SSG. You saw Rizzo, how fast he was to get up to the ball, and now Garrett in the midfield. Envy's defense is starting to break down.
They are, is Squishy and GARRETG on the quick reads. Look at that pass out. GARRETG just lurking in the front, knowing there's a chance it comes, and then he's able to take advantage of it when he's there. Tie game now, Turtle.
Yeah, Squishy exploded out of that corner because he saved his jump, used the wave dash to fly out of it, get that pass across. Now the kickoff again. I'm a little bit worried for NRG after these kickoffs. Thankfully, if you're a fan of them, they hold on now, but things still getting scary in those first few seconds.
They get the third one there. They got 3 bounces uncontested here. The third one, the shot was challenged, but Justin's not gonna miss. You give him this much space.
Oh, and that's so painful for Mist. He almost read the pass. He knew it was gonna go off the backboard and the pass would come out, but he didn't leave the net fast enough. Justin crashed it right in front of him. Envy, they started off so strong, but NRG have been resilient now.
They have absolutely rallied. 3 goals straight. They're gonna look to make it 4. Mist alone in net as Justin takes it over the top of him and in. Justin is styling on Envy right now.
We've been waiting for him to come out like this and just hit us with some mechanical abilities. Look at how clean that looks. That is elegant right there, Wavepunk. I love watching stuff like that.
Well, the season 1 through 3 vibes, the air dribble good enough to just finish it off. My goodness. NRG suddenly in control, completely in control of game number 3. Still about half the time left to play. Envy not out of this yet, but with their work cut out for them. Atomic will look for the bumps, just over the top of 1. Turbo Pulsa will go neutral onto the side. Mist now in, up against Squishy. Both players missing. GARRETG gonna get out in time? No, it goes up against Atomic. Still gonna need to fight to get this one back to midfield. Wins another challenge against Turbo. And Justin onto the backboard now as Mist comes out of the net. GARRETG will neutralize the clear. Here's Justin, or Squishy in on it. GARRETG to take the shot. Atomic covers it up. My goodness, demos don't matter to Envy. Their defense just stays perfect in that corner.
Yeah, it's still been a struggle, however, to win 50s against NRG. That's what's letting up for a lot of this pressure. Now the clear attempt. Atomic pre-jumped that shot from GARRETG again. Off the post, it goes in. I can't believe Atomic got that hit, but it wasn't enough. NRG, their rotations aren't breaking.
Man, look at GARRETG just freeze the defense here. Atomic can't move. He can't go for Squishy's touch because he has to possibly go forward if Garrett touches it. Garrett misses it, and the game is over. The goal is over anyways. Game almost out of reach at this point now. 3 goals up, NRG.
This is the same performance that we saw earlier against the Peeps from NRG. It's every single aspect of the game coming at the defense. You've gotten a couple of solo ground plays. You've gotten backboard reads, Justin with the air dribble, and now the fake shot from GARRETTG. You're incorporating as much as you can on the mechanical side if you're NRG.
Justin out through the sky looking for a sixth goal, I guess. Really just looking to burn time off the clock as they have easily secured this one. We were talking about comebacks in the last series as we saw G2 nearly make the 4-goal comeback. That's only happened, to my memory, one time. 3-goal comebacks, a little bit more common. They've happened probably 15+ times, but still difficult to do, especially when there's only 1 minute left of time. Envy, we're going to be starting to think about Game 4 and how do they get back to shutting down the NRG defense or the NRG offense so well, just like they did in Game 2.
Well, it's so important to win a lot of these challenges. Most of them aren't even happening in the midfield. It's actually in Envy's corner as Atomic. Almost 1v3s. Does he get the next flick? He does, but GARRETTG the save. That would have been crucial for a little comeback here from Envy, as they're starting to be a little bit more fast-paced with their counterattacks, but still not enough. 20 seconds left. Looks like NRG are going to take this one.
Yeah, that goal would have given them a glimmer of hope, but he had to get that flick on faster, somehow beat Justin more quickly. Don't give GARRETTG time to get back and cover it up. With 6 seconds left, definitely out of reach at this point. NRG going to take the lead back in the series. Best of 7, though, they've got to win 4, so a little bit more work to do before they are on match point. Yeah. NRG looking just fine, though, here in Game 3.
Yeah, and a lot more creative than the past 2 games, actually, from NRG. It seems like they decided to go for a bit more risky plays, but not push everybody up on offense, which is great because that third man coming in would be a little bit more patient. I noticed a lot of times GARRETTG or Squishy, usually because Justin's always up front doing whatever he does best. GARRETTG and Squishy, very patient now to come in and go for those challenges, which is what's needed. Because if you're losing that challenge, like I said, in the corners, that's giving a free counterattack to Team Envy, and that's what caught you off guard against the Peeps. So they are fixing that problem, closing up that hole on defense, and looking great.
Yeah, but if there was one thing that I took away from Game 1, it was, or from this Game 3 here, it was NRG's challenges in the midfield, especially in that second half of the game. Yeah, you talked about it at one point too. Envy just could not win a 50-50. They couldn't buy a 50-50 win off of these guys. They were losing every single one, even if it was just marginally. The ball was slowly creeping into their territory. And then they played clean corner defense, but still, if you can't break in, if you can't win some in the midfield, it's going to be really hard going against a team as good as NRG. So Envy now trailing in the series. Let's see if they can bounce back.
Well, and that's surprising to say because, I mean, first of all, you're right, but it's surprising to see it because TurboPulsa is on Team Envy, who is one of the best midfield challengers you can get in the game. We talked about it earlier. He's an unsung hero with a lot of things that don't show up on the scoreboard. One of those is the challenge game in the midfield. He is so dominant when it comes to keeping pressure, having hits like that where you keep him the other side, and we need to see more of that from Turbo to help his team out, give more shots to Atomic, and let Mist push up a little bit at least.
Well, we'll see if Turbo can start rallying against his former team, especially in the midfield. Justin flicks this one high, gets it through one. TurboPulsa, that was, I think, basically a triple commit from all of Envy, but Squishy and GARRETTG going to struggle to get this one back down. Mist should be able to play this one away despite it being on the retreating defense. And now Atomic pinches it off the ground. GARRETTG suddenly has to take to the air. Gets one challenge. This one neutral on the side from Mist. A bump off from Justin will leave it open for Squishy as Turbo gets demolished in his own corner. Here's Squishy through the air. Challenged off the side. Justin wants to go for this ball, but respects Turbo's position, and now GARRETTG will come in behind him. Puts it over 2 defenders. It'll be only one in net. Atomic on the backboard. Is he there enough? No! Squishy's placement is beautiful, and NRG's up first.
You're exactly right. Look at this placement. You're coming across the ball to hit this angle into the middle of the goal. When you're coming from the right side, you have to use your air roll perfectly and time it with the exact second when you make contact with the ball. Squishy, he makes it look so easy, but that shot was incredibly difficult.
I mean, that's a hard shot to place if you're sitting dead center of the net with the ball coming straight at you. But no, he's shooting across his body. Such an incredible thing that maybe is not talked about enough, just how difficult it is to make those sorts of shots. Squishy makes it look so easy. NRG now on top of Squishy. Gonna look to see if he can get the drop pass here. Defenders fall on top of each other. GARRETTG looking for the double tap onto the backboard. Here comes Justin and blocked at the point of contact. Back away. Envy holds. Turbo on the wall. Back into his backfield again. Mist. The soft touch. Squishy takes to the air. TurboPulsa there first, and he'll look to try and connect with Mist in enemy territory. Here's Justin to the sky. And now back down with it, leaving it for GARRETTG, I believe. They're getting creative on the setups.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly how you describe it with the NRG offense. We just saw that crazy shot from Squishy, and now Justin going for a bit of a fake. Even in the previous game, we saw GARRETTG go for a fake that worked on Atomic, who is in net. Now Justin, the flip reset. Does he have it? It's saved by Mist. Still putting pressure on. We've barely seen Team Envy break out.
They have spent precious little time in the blue this game. Mist and Turbo commit on this one, and luckily for them, Atomic's got some space, but Mist on the ground and then just flew to try and bump GARRETTG, I believe. A bunch of bad ideas in a row, or a bunch of poorly executed ideas anyways from Envy. Left that one in a strange spot. Their one opportunity of breaking into the blue just comes and goes, and now here's another opportunity. Turbo Pulsa over the top of one. 2 players up for it, though. Turbo and Mist double committing heavily into that corner. And luckily, they get a lot of it, but GARRETTG now with space up against the one player who was still on the ground, Atomic. He'll win that challenge heavily. Here's Justin. Up against Turbo. Plays it behind him. Ball from the shot from Atomic just wide, now missed. Back into the corner for Atomic. GARRETTG takes it away from him. 2 minutes left. Envy starting to creep a little bit more with awkward touches that are difficult for the NRG defense to read, but it's also difficult for the offense of Envy to read, so despite the ball being in enemy territory, there wasn't much they could do with it.
Well, they're not really trailing by much either. NRG have looked incredibly dominant here, but it's not really proven too much for them in terms of the scoreline. They've got 1 goal, but that's easily accomplished then from Envy. If they can keep this pressure up, things looking much better. They're double committing a few times here and there, but they can clean up the communication, get a bump maybe involved, or off the backboard like this. It's touch from Justin. As he read that, he passed it right back down to Squishy. NRG barely hold on. Things are getting so much closer on their side, though.
Turbo Pulsa gets in the way. Squishy sends another one to the goal, and Mist has to block. Atomic half flips out to try and get in the way of Squishy. And now here he'll fall down on the GARRETTG. Benches it a long way across the field. Approaching the final minute. NRG up by 1. You did say it earlier. I mean, it's as dominant as NRG's looked. They've only gotten to the back of that 1 time here. And this definitely leaves it in range of anything. A fluke, a last-minute play. So this is Rocket League action. Here's Squishy out of the corner. GARRETTG gonna try. No, he gets called off. And now out of the corner again, towards the goal, gets the dunk. A touch from Atomic, sets it up, and Justin gets a touch upwards. English is hard sometimes, but so is Rocket League. Atomic now back in front of the box, and it's open. Mist did not see him. He did not think Justin was there. Completely intercepted. Pick 1. 2-0 now NRG.
Yeah, completely getting in that passing lane. Justin, he read exactly what was going to happen. And the important thing about that is he's paying attention constantly to where Mist is, the last defender. If you see him pushing up, you know exactly what they're trying to do. A little bit too predictable from Team Envy. They finally get that safety net that I think we've all been waiting for. With that type of pressure and that type of starvation, it was only a matter of time before NRG got another one.
What's crazy is NRG only has 6 shots in this game.
Yeah.
Feels like they've been on offense so much, they should have so much more, and it is a testament to the Envy defense keeping it away from their box. And even in a moment where we saw a double commit from them, staying clean and continuing to find the blocks.
Yeah.
Envy's defense definitely strong to hold NRG to this low of a scoreline, but you got to score at some point. NRG win game 4 now on match point, 1 away from the finals against Space Station.
And this game just represents one of the best attributes that NRG have on their roster, and that is they don't get too desperate to go for all these goals or to get a shot on net. You know, the scoreline was 1-0. We talked about it. So much pressure, so much offense and time in the Envy's half, and not once did you ever see NRG slip up with their rotations. They didn't get too desperate or hungry for a shot or a goal on target. They just wanted to play safe Rocket League, keep the rotations coming, and that's how you clutch out games. You don't change your play style in the middle of it. You're winning either way. You keep yourself calm, composed, and that's exactly what happened for NRG.
Yeah, no, which is the crazy thing about thinking about, like, this is one of the things I think that makes Turbo Pulse so deadly as well, is being as experienced as he is, that sort of, woo, yeah, let's go, shoot first, ask questions later energy that you have when you first come in, your hot stuff in the scene. As you win more tournaments, as you get more experience, that slowly starts to wear off, and you start to learn, like, I can still be that hotshot player, but in the moments when it will actually benefit the team. Let's slow things down. Let's be patient. And the idea of Squishy and Justin in particular becoming patient players is terrifying.
Huge.
Because they're already so good at being aggressive.
Yeah, and that's what happened in the Peeps. If you watch the first game against the Peeps, Justin was passing left and right, and they weren't just regular passes across the box. They were fantastic with mechanical skills. And Atomic now the bump. I think they squeezed this in on NRG. What happened?
I think all three of them touched it. Atomic.
Oh,
And he dunks Squishy, and then Justin and Gary like, we both got, oh no, neither of us got, oh, that's not what you want to see. What a tragic goal.
It's those kickoffs again, Envy. I mean, they start every game strong. You got to give them that. It's just a matter of holding on to that lead.
So yeah, can NRG bounce back? I mean, they've scored so much. They've scored 7 goals in the last 2 games. But Atomic on the infield pass. What a kickoff play. 2-0 now, Envy.
Oh, it's the same thing that we saw previously. Envy going up 2-0. Look at this pass from Mist, too. Across the box. Snipes out Atomic. That's just a clean passing play all around. NRG, they get caught off on the kickoffs, which seem to be dominant in the previous series for them. They look good in the quarterfinals with their kickoffs, but it's slipping up.
Yeah, no, the Envy kickoff goals have been very, very useful in this series. The one game where they looked strong, well, they won in game 2, and then game 3 they started off 2-0. That one was also due in part to a kickoff goal. But NRG did come back 5 goals there straight. Wow. Oh my goodness, Turbo pulls up against GARRETTG. He has to put it high. Does he have the follow-up here? And he does. 1 boost left in the tank for Turbo. More than enough.
I want to just highlight how carefully he aerialed this. Look at this. This is the least flashy aerial, but it was so nice. He was so composed before that ball came to him. He just had a nice little chip shot off the backboard and an easy aerial to put it in.
That's so funny. That's so good. He's like, I mean, it's Turbo Pulsa. He's like, look, I've scored plenty of flashy goals in my life. All that matters is to go to the back of the net. I have barely enough boost. Let's not make any mistakes. 3-0 now for Envy. An excellent start to them. 3 goals in the first minute, mind you, though. They've given NRG lots of time to come back into this series, or come back into this game. We'll see how things go. They are on match point, though. Envy has to win from here on out. NRG, a lot of breathing room.
Yeah, and they've got to bundle up on defense like they did in Game 2. I want to see them keep up the aggression, obviously, but those mistakes on defense, got to clean them up, especially with the double commits. You don't want to see any of that happening or let NRG get away with those mechanical plays.
Here's GARRETTG in the corner, lots of space. Sends it to the backboard, Squishy's up for it. Then he doesn't make contact. I think he respected Atomic's read. And now Turbo, long play down the field. Up against 1. Atomic beats GARRETTG. Justin with the clear. And GARRETTG reaching for this one, but Mist will shut it down. Here's Squishy now looking for Justin. Same play, just different players. And Demolition on a Turbo Pulsa. Tries to create some space, but Mist finally winning some challenges in the midfield here. Find a lot of time for his team, giving Turbo Pulsa the breathing room to respond. Here's Justin up against Atomic. There's GARRETTG to help, but couldn't get it through the defenders. And NRG's pressure right back to where it was the past few games, but still nothing making it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it's a difficult obstacle, to climb here, seeing as NRG, they've had a couple of moments of, shots on net. Here's one for Squishy off the crossbar. Okay, we were waiting for it to happen. It was, like I said, just a matter of time before this ended up breaking down the defense. Squishy, the best placement.
Man, what a power behind that shot. After the crossbar bounce, it's 81 kilometers per hour. No telling how fast it was when it left his nose. And that's the beginning of the comeback. Need 2 more. Here's Justin through the air. A kickoff goal for them wouldn't work. I think he gets a flip reset, and the defense gets a little bit tangled up, but he just barely could. GARRETTG will take it. 2 goals straight, and now it's a 1-goal game at halftime.
And we talk about Justin being an individual monster. Look at what he just did to the defense of Envy. 2 players taken out, off the post, setting up his teammate for the easy follow-through shot. I mean, what more do you need out of Justin? How much better of a setup can you get than that?
And yeah, the defense, the rest of his team also helping just create just enough chaos. The threat of Justin. Oh, your Mist just go with his pants. I don't understand. So Envy gets a 2-goal lead in Game 3, and immediately they get it taken away from them by NRG. Now in Game 5, a 3-goal lead, and the comeback immediately. We're barely across halftime, Turtle.
Yeah. It's the fakes from Justin. That's what just happened in the previous goal. He faked the flip reset. Now he comes out here, he fakes the early shot to open up some space, and he has all the time in the world to find the accuracy and get that goal. Justin is having a standout performance yet again.
We've talked multiple times about the 3-goal lead kind of being the litmus of like the clinching goal line in an RLCS match. It's really difficult to come back from being down by 3. And NRG just made it look like a walk in Central Park. Did not matter at all. Atomic to try and put a score on. Oh, and it's cleared by Garrett. The ball was halfway in the goal. They keep this one tied up. Turbo Pulsa now looking for the pass, and it's intercepted by Justin. Back to midfield. 1:43 on the clock. NRG 1 goal away from playing in the finals. Envy with so much work ahead of them, and they had done so much work to get to the point where they had Game 5 tied up, and now they're having to find a way to get back into the net again.
Wow, NRG, they're so unbelievably aware of what is happening on the field. There's been multiple attempts of demos from Team Envy. I even saw one recently against GARRETTG. He just easily dodged them out, got the save, continued forward. The defense standing tall. They built out a solid foundation, almost like a brick wall, and they are denying all of Envy.
Also not willing to do the rule number 1 on the side. Both teams, both teams. And
we know what happens.
That's so much respect too. Like they both realize just how strong the other team is. And the moment you get into a 2v2, I don't think either team are like, nope, no, I want to play. I need to do everything I can for my team right now. Into the final minute, GARRETTG with a fake on 1, going for the slow play on 2, hit him with the change-up, Justin with the net to shoot at, and he scores 4-3. NRG's back on top, 47 seconds away from the grand finals.
It's all about pace control for NRG. You're going so fast with your aggression. You just slow the play down 1 or 2 seconds. You've got Envy flying after the ball. They don't even get a touch. That's GARRETTG with the fakes. Earlier, we saw Justin with the fakes. You can even see the panicked pressure from Team Envy. This is too clean from NRG, and they've made a huge comeback.
This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. 38 seconds left. As one of the best comebacks we've seen in a long time. Do they get the clincher here? Just barely turned away, and Garrett comes out of the corner to put the nails in the coffin. 31 seconds left, up by 2. NRG gonna go to the grand finals.
Yeah, they're making the defense look silly at this point. It's not even close with the offensive pressure. We've seen Envy burst out at the beginning of the game, but they lose all of their stamina. They don't know how to hold it down on defense, and NRG slowly creep back to leading the game.
An absolute reckoning for Envy. 21 seconds left, up by 2. Let's make it 3 from Justin. Actually doesn't make the touch, he was out of boost, but with 16 seconds left against, and the spirit from Envy has to be broken. You had done such a good job securing this lead and then threw it all away. The time is out. Justin's gonna look for one more for the road. Gonna just absolutely break both of Turbo's axles, send them out of the tournament, and their sights are now set on Space Station.
This might be one of the scariest performances we've seen NRG have, you know, in the past few weeks, maybe of the entire split. They're going into the grand finals hot and ready to go. These boys, Justin in particular with the fakes, then GARRETTG popping off. Squishy, he had a monstrous performance earlier against the Peeps. He doesn't have to do too much here. Might get a goal. Nice little follow-up with Squishy. But man, oh man, I don't want to be the team facing off against NRG right now.
Here's the thing, Turtle. I think there's been, you know, a handful. I think there's been around 20-ish 3-0 comebacks in RLCS history. I don't think any of them, and there's no way for me to really back this stat up because this isn't a stat line I know that we track, but I don't think there's any of them where one team led by 3 and then lost by 3.
Yeah.
6-3, the final score here for NRG.